And welcome in to another edition of Miz-Stl on the Loot Information Station. I'm Grant Saltzman. He's Brendan Schaefer, wearing a nice little tiger camo festive fall hat right there.
That?
I like
you
it.
Like that hat?
You like that?
It's got like leaves on it or something. It's kind of like Hawaiian leaf hula. I don't know.
Pretty
it says
neat.
Tigers on it, dude. I
Pretty
got so many
cool.
Mizzou hats, and I don't know. I feel like this is a good bye week hat, so I broke this one out for today. I'm also wearing my shirt, the Call of the Columns, the homecoming shirt from this past weekend. I love it that, man, you walk into that Mizzou store in the student center and everything is $1 million, but there's some really cool stuff in there. But the homecoming stuff, because the game was that day, was already marked down. So I was like, score. Got this shirt for $10 and I'm going to wear it like every day because I'm a big columns guy.
Love the columns.
Big on the columns.
See, that was normally when I was a student, my tactic. I got a really cool Luther Burden shirt for like $7 this spring. And there was a Brady Cook shirt for like $2. So I'm a bargain shopper at the Mizzou store. Normally I get my homecoming shirt about 6 months after homecoming. So that works out nicely. But they were already marked down. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. I'm like $10. I should get one in every color, but I just got one. I didn't go too crazy.
Nothing too insane. We're going to give you our picks later today or later in the show. I think, Brendan, we were deadlocked this week, if I'm looking correctly.
Doing the math on that, we both went 4-4 with our SEC picks, and then our favorite picks of the week. It appears I went 2-3,
and I think I also went 2-3.
Did the same. Yeah, I got bailed out honestly by my SEC picks. I did not see the rest of the board very well, but I doubled down on Mississippi State and Ole Miss, which both covered for me.
I got hooked twice.
Forward a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it was a bad line on Middle Tennessee State. They lost by 8. The line ended up moving to Middle Tennessee State plus 8.5. So, if you woke up Saturday, maybe you listen to the podcast, you would have won. You would have won if you took it Saturday morning. So, and then that A&M line also moved down to 6, and they won by 6.
Yeah, but
we got it 6.5.
6.5. That was the line. You bet the number sometimes, and I was feeling pretty good about that 6.5. I think I even might have said on the show, feels like they win by 6, and they did.
So that is a 1-unit loss for each of us this week. So I still
bit of a downer.
Have not won money 1 week.
I like how you said that too. Like you're contemplating life itself. Yeah, you're down 10 units on the season. I am still up 13 units if you've been following my picks. I've had a good start, but it definitely came crashing back down last week. So
a little back down to reality.
Less games this week too on the SEC side.
Kind of a bye week for everyone, it feels like, in college football.
Not everyone.
No, I know. It's a down week a little bit in college football. Mizzou's got a big game, the moral victory or the spirit win, as Jim Hayes would like to say. I think it's going to be
issue a spirit win for the week. I got to ask him.
I think the Spirit Week win might be issued on Saturday for Mizzou.
I'm going to text him because now I'm kind of curious.
Maybe I'll be able to. Maybe we'll CC him on a tweet or something. The Cardinals don't have Spirit wins though. No more Spirit wins.
No, those are done.
Those are done. The season's over. The team is over.
Well, slow down.
Sorry.
At times when I'm really frustrated, I'll put the Cardinals hat right there upside down on my desk. It's right side up right now for the offseason because Hein Bloom comes in. They're going to do their due diligence on a good offseason. So we'll give them a chance.
Okay.
First.
I'm excited for that. We have a lot of games to talk about. Let's talk about Mizzou. Do you want to talk about UMass again, or do you just want to go a little bigger picture?
God.
Okay. Then let's zoom out a little bit. This game against Bama, biggest regular season game since when? I saw some people saying, I saw one tweet that said in their SEC history, no, they played 2 games to make the SEC championship game before. I'll say it's their biggest regular season game since that one against Jaden Daniels and LSU in 2023.
Yeah, it's tricky because when you don't win the big game, it kind of negates what happens after that. So I look at that season where, like, all right, by losing the LSU game, what did they cost themselves? it's hard to look back on the ones that you lose and say how big they were because you just want to forget about them. But yeah, I mean, that's probably more accurate. Like, I think it is massive, but if you go into the game and you lose by 14 and it's not really competitive or close, and it kind of is a picture of then where you are this year, you're not contending for a national championship. You're kind of a tier below that, perhaps. Then, how does that color the way I view the game in the aftermath of it? I guess we'll find out if we have to face that. But no, it can't be any bigger than this at this point in the season, right? Because it has the chance to propel you to what's next, which could very much be all of it. I mean, everything is still on the table for Mizzou, and the direction that this game goes is going to determine kind of where the margin for error is when it comes to making a college football playoff push. And look, a team that can beat Alabama, if Missouri can do that, is not just talking about trying to get into the playoff, but saying, look, you can contend with anybody in the country, because we just saw Alabama win at Georgia. Like, we know how good Georgia historically is, and we think they're still pretty good this year. So it's Alabama. Like, yeah, I want to say it's bigger than some of those games that got you to the SEC championship, but I know I can't say that because a win here doesn't do that. But you're supposed to win both of those games.
Yeah.
I think Mizzou is favored in both of them. I know they were against Arkansas. I think A&M was a little bit more up in the air. But this one, you're probably going to be an underdog. Like, it'll be pending what Alabama does against Vanderbilt this weekend. And the way that goes out might color what the point spread will be for the Mizzou game. But I don't think Mizzou is going to be favored in this game. And look, seeing the way that Alabama handled Georgia in that one on the road, it's probably right that Alabama would be a small favorite going into this one.
What do you think? Like 3.5, maybe? Bama -3?
Yeah. But Alabama -3.5, that might be appropriate. It might be more like 6.
Yeah.
And if it is, then, I really don't know. Somewhere between 3 and 6 is what I would guess Alabama would be favored. But you know what? Metrics really like Mizzou. Like, some of the things that they'll use to kind of make these lines, it's not as simple as just, I feel like for basketball, Vegas will look at Ken Pom lines and go, put it somewhere around there.
Yeah.
For football, I think it's not quite that simple, but maybe, I mean, it won't shock me if the point spread ends up giving Mizzou more credit than I'm expecting, and it's more like a Bama -2.5 sort of situation. But my initial guess, pending the Vanderbilt game for the Tide, is between 3 and 6 points. That Alabama would be a road favorite in that one.
I think that's fair. I think just this game, though, it kind of is a culmination of the last 5 years under Eli Drinkowitz. Like, you've been slowly trying to garner that national respect, and you got it a little bit when you beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. But Colin McCord wasn't playing. Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't playing. Okay, you beat Ohio State, and then you had a fine season last year. Now this is the one where a win here, all of the sudden, it's like, oh, okay, this Missouri team is for real. It wasn't just Brady Cook and Luther Burden and, a little flash in the pan of 2 good years and you move on. This team actually can compete with the top dogs, and I think it would move them to an upper echelon if they win this game. But then you lose it. If you lose it by 20, then it's like, okay. So it's the same Mizzou we've seen the last few years. They're good, but they're not that good.
That's about that breaking through that glass ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being like top 15, top 20 program to handily in the top 10. The year that Mizzou was 11th was the year, before the expanded playoffs. So we didn't get to see Mizzou.
And at one point, they were 6 during that season, I believe. In
that season. Yeah. And so, I don't know about a culmination, because the rest of this season is to come. Mm-hmm. But this is it's the first real test of the season if this is a playoff team. Like, yes, Kansas was a test, South Carolina was a test, but those were tests that you have to be able to pass kind of without really question. Otherwise, we decide something different about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
They passed those two, so we don't have to make any declarations about, Mizzou, they're not who we thought they were, whatever. Like, no, they're progressing on the path of who we hope that they are, who I hope that they are, I believe that they are. Last year, are a play away from beating South Carolina at their place, and you go 10-2 if that happens. The two losses, the other two, Alabama and Texas A&M, I would say going into both of those games, especially Texas A&M, maybe less so against Bama, but once Brady Cook was going to play, then it's like, all right, even that game, we can win it. We can win at Bama. Going into both those games, I had deluded myself into thinking Mizzou had a real chance to win.
Yeah.
And I can't look at the result of either of those games and say Mizzou had a real chance to win. I mean, you could make the case if you were like really going to go the homer route, which I often do, that, well, if Brady Cook doesn't get hurt, I know. If Brady Cook doesn't get hurt again against Alabama, a different injury than the one that he had coming into the game, broke his hand or whatever it was, if that doesn't happen, then it's a completely different offense from Mizzou that day, and the defense played pretty well until they just lost steam because they knew they had no chance. And so who knows? And in the A&M game, I would say, don't think they came in well prepared. Don't think the coaching staff did a very good job of, recognizing that Connor Wegman might be the quarterback. But also, they started that game pretty okay, and a flag here that takes away a touchdown. Another thing goes against them. It was a couple of early, penalties that really sapped their will to fight in that game, I thought. And so it was over from there. If that touchdown doesn't get taken off the board, I think it was a Burden catch. I can't remember. But then a different game in College Station. So, I don't really know if the scores reflected last year how close Missouri was to being able to win one of these, true tent pole, plant your flag types of games. I'm not saying that they were close. I'm saying the record book shows that they weren't. I would argue that they might have been a little closer than the score indicated, but that's not close enough for me to go back and say, oh, they should have won either of those games. I'm not saying
when you lose both games by 20 plus. Yeah.
You can say the reasons why and the explanations and say maybe this, if that's different, but that still doesn't equate to me saying Mizzou, they almost won those games. No. They were piss poor in both of them. And they got to be better. This is their first game that's akin to those two games from last year. And it's at home instead of having to go into tough environments. This Alabama game is the first one, though, that's reflective of how I felt going into those two games a year ago. And Oklahoma wasn't in that category because I went into Oklahoma thinking this is going to be a cinch. They're going to beat them with a backup quarterback. They're going to win this game. I had hope for A&M and hope for Alabama. And even if I said I believed it, was it realistic? I mean, the aftermath told you, no, it wasn't that realistic. This could be the same. We're going to go to this Alabama game, and I'm confident. I believe Missouri can win this game. They'll show us if I was right or if I was too high and too optimistic on them. Because, again, if they lose by 2 touchdowns, they're not quite on the level of, this team can not only make a playoff, but they can make a run into the CFP. We're going to find out, though, from this game. And if they pass that test, then there is still that other test of, okay, don't slip up too many times on the road. I know they're tough opponents on the road. But do we think, forget the venue.
Yeah.
Is Alabama the best team that they're going to face this year?
Yes.
I think that's right.
Top to bottom, right. Yes.
Ty Simpson has taken a big step forward. We weren't sure coming into the year what he would look like. He's the Heisman favorite right now. Their receivers, we know they're 3 or 4 deep of really, really good NFL, I think, caliber receivers. I
mean, Ryan Williams, I've said this. I think Ryan Williams is a top 20 to 30 receiver on earth. And he's playing college football. I say that about Jeremiah Smith, too.
Yeah. Those two, if they were in the NFL playing this Sunday, would be in the top 20.
Yeah. Why they would have been first-round picks last year after their freshman year.
They would have been top 10 picks last year.
Yeah.
They're both going in the top 10, probably the top 5 when the time comes.
Yep.
So I would agree with that. Alabama's got a good defense. They've got dudes all over that defense, right? Their pass defense is really going to be a tough nut to crack. Somehow their run defense has been a little bit more generous, and that's where Missouri is going to have to capitalize. But we'll spend the whole week, continuing to outline this game on a game level, an X's and O's level. But Grant, for me, I feel about this Alabama game, time's going to tell if I was right or wrong, but I feel like I felt about some of those games last year, and they weren't ready last year.
Yeah.
They were not up to the task last year. You get the slight benefit this year of probably not a lesser Bama team. I think Bama's better this year than they were last year, but you get this game at home, and that has to be all the difference. You're right. It's most comparable to LSU and Jaden Daniels because that was a really good team. That wasn't a team. Their defense wasn't as good. This Alabama team is better than that Jaden Daniels team.
Yes.
But what that win could have done for your season to elevate you into the national spotlight, Mizzou fell short in that one and should have won the game. This feels like it could be a similar task. Can they get over the hump is going to be the question.
This Alabama team is better than that LSU team, but this Bama team doesn't have what LSU had in Jaden Daniels. Ty Simpson's good.
He single-handedly kind of did the whole thing.
Jaden Daniels won that football game for LSU. And I'm not saying that Simpson can't, but he's not going to make the plays like Daniels made, putting his body on the line, running. I think he had a 60-yard touchdown run in that game, making plays all over the place. Like, that's not going to happen, but as a sum of the whole, that's not the saying. The sum of the parts is better with Bama here than with LSU, but I still think it reminds me of the A&M game from last year too, at least where it's at on your schedule. You still have all the hype, except this Mizzou team is much more tested than it was last year, I think. I think Kansas was better than Boston College was, if you're looking at schedules. And then on top of it, you've played an SEC team already in South Carolina and won the game. Last year, the only team that Missouri had really played was Boston College.
Well, and I mean, whatever you think of Vanderbilt, like Vanderbilt beat Alabama.
I did forget about that game.
And that was a test, but it was the type of test that were like, at the time, like, holy crap, why did you almost lose to Vanderbilt? And why did you need them to miss a chip shot in overtime in order to secure the win instead of going to another overtime?
Yeah. You've played better to this point of the season than you did last year.
Oh, without question. Yes. Because last year you started off really good against the Murray States and the Buffaloes, and those were like the two gimmies. And like comparable performances in those games to what we saw against Louisiana, and I would even say UMass.
Yeah.
The defense was more perfect against Buffalo last year, but pretty comparable. Like both of the last two Mizzou teams have handled their business against the Cupcakes. And then like Mizzou played UMass later in the season last year on the road. They won that game similarly to how they won earlier this week. So I would agree, like Boston College and Vanderbilt were similar in the way that we think like they were back and forth games against Power 4 opponents. But I would say that Vanderbilt and Boston College of last year are not the quality of the teams that Kansas and South Carolina are this year. And maybe they are. Maybe like I'm overstating the differential there. Like they're both kind of like all teams that'll go 6-6 or 7-5. Like I think all four of those teams is how I kind of think about them mentally.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at last year's what Boston College finished with. But like those, they're maybe all in the similar category. Mizzou, I think, played better in the games this year than they did in those two games last year. Like they were still up in the air, but they closed more firmly. And the offense, I think, was more impressive in both of the games this year. So that gives you more of an upside to hang with an Alabama whose offense you expect to be pretty good too.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think this game, and we'll get into the X's and O's a little bit more, but I think why I feel better about it is because you have the ability to keep other offenses off the field with Ahmad Hardy.
Yeah, you can control the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a huge part of it. And that's how Mizzou wants to play as well. I think it takes a little bit of pressure off the defense if Mizzou can win the time of possession. And like I would predict them to win the time of possession against Alabama. Doesn't mean you win the game. Alabama's going to have more quick strike ability with their offense. You know, people have said, why isn't Bo throwing downfield as much? I think what defenses have given them so far is what they've taken. I don't necessarily, even in the Bama game, want to force the issue for quick strikes because I think their secondary is going to be so athletic and they're going to be so much better than anything you've seen that you don't want to just do it for the sake of like, oh, to beat Bama, we're going to have to do something spectacular outside of ourselves. I think you'll almost need to just be the perfect version of what you're great at, which is grinding teams into pace by running the ball, controlling the clock. But Grant, and I'm going to talk about this next week, what's so tough about actually winning a game that way against an Alabama type of team who has quick strike ability and will score long plays and probably long touchdowns that are going to break our hearts during the game is like you'll have to be so perfect on third down.
Yes.
And Mizzou's been like as good on third down as anybody in the country. But can you do it against Alabama? And can you get Kirby Moore into 3rd and 4 or fewer enough times to where like we can continue to win in those moments because the first two you're staying on schedule. It's hard to win going 3rd down conversion 1 2 3 3rd down conversion 1 2 3 3rd down field goal. Like it's hard to win that way, but I think it's okay. Like you don't. And look, maybe Hardy breaks some long runs in this game. He's that good, right? Granted, if they win this game, it's Hardy doing the same stuff he's been doing. He'll be top 3 in the Heisman by the time the game is over. Like, I don't know if he's going to do that. I hope to God he will. But like that, it almost feels like Mizzou's big playability is going to have to be coming on the ground and maybe even in the short passing game, turning it into more because we got to win the turnover differential as well. You can't like Bo's had that one throw per game where it goes, oh, shouldn't have done that. And it's a pick. And it hasn't cost Missouri, but it will in this game. I don't think you can afford it. And I think you have to get a takeaway of Alabama. You have to take the football away from them once and you got to be perfect with it. And like, you have to be perfect on 3rd down efficiency. Mizzou has to play a perfect game doing what they do at their best and not try to do anything or force anything that's not to their strength. And they can beat Alabama, but that's a tall ask. I'm going to come into the week admitting that is a tall ask. Very. For the Tigers.
Brennan, there is a line. I was scrolling off from our friends at DraftKings, and they have a very early line for this game. Bama at Mizzou, October 11th.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
4.5.
Missouri +6.
Okay. So I'm off by 1.5. Okay.
Now,
that's not far off of what I thought.
I don't think it'll move much unless Bama loses. I think they'd have to beat Vandy by a lot for that to move.
It won't probably start past 7. It could get to 6.5, unless they just beat the tar out of Vanderbilt, who's looked pretty good so far.
Yeah,
I think it starts 6.5.
I think I agree with that. I like that
based on what you told me there.
Quickly here before we go to break and we come back with our picks. Let's say Mizzou loses this game. Hard fought, they lose the game. They have to get to 10-2 to make the playoffs. What is the most feasible route for 10-2 if they lose this game?
Okay. And look, coming into the year, I'll admit I predicted 11-1 and I predicted a loss in this game. For a while, I said, never mind, they're going 12-0. And then I saw Bama play Georgia. And now I'm like, so I'm on the fence. It's to win at Auburn. It's to win at Vanderbilt. Immediately following these two, the Bama game. Because Auburn is a solid SEC team this year, and they're going to be even better at home than they are on the road. But they're dropping these road games by about a touchdown to teams we think are pretty good, right? Like Oklahoma, pretty good, lost by about a touchdown. Texas A&M, pretty damn good, lost by about a touchdown. On the road, respectable. You cannot overlook that. And Auburn could be favored over Mizzou. Like if Mizzou loses to Bama by 10, and I don't know what Auburn does between now and then.
They play Georgia.
Okay. So, but like, that's a home game. Let's say Auburn loses to Georgia by 3. That's the same day as Mizzou plays Bama. Let's say it's a well-fought game by Auburn. They lose, they lose 24-20 to Georgia, right? All right. It's going to be like a pick'em or a slight Auburn favorite, I think, at home.
Agree.
The community is going to view that Missouri still a little bit lesser than Georgia. And again, this is baking in Mizzou loses by 10 to Alabama. Mizzou loses 34-24 to Alabama, right? Whatever it is. I think you have to beat Auburn because that's one of those where like it doesn't hurt the perception of your program to lose to an Auburn team that has that resume, but it's also like, okay, we can draw this line in the sand. The teams that beat Auburn, legit playoff contenders, like they passed that test that you just have to pass. Missouri, you fell a little bit short of that. We know Auburn's not a playoff contender. They've lost 3 games. They're a pretty good program. They're good. They got a good team this year. But you can't, if you want to be counted in the category of A&M and Georgia and, Oklahoma, the teams that beat Auburn, then you have to do the same. So that's a must. Vanderbilt, I think the Vanderbilt-Mizzou game is a play into the college football playoff if Mizzou loses to Alabama. Because I am legitimately still so high on Vanderbilt. They could lose to Bama this week. I'm not going to take Texas over Vanderbilt. I'm not taking LSU over Vanderbilt in Nashville. I'm not taking Tennessee over Vanderbilt. Like, I'm just saying, I might be wrong, but I consider that when that game happens in late October, Vanderbilt wins it, they still very much are alive for a playoff bid. Mizzou loses it, that's your second loss. Are you then going to go beat A&M, which you couldn't even come close to doing last year, beat Mississippi State, which is not a gimme at this point, go to Norman, go to Fayetteville? Probably not.
So
you have to win the Vanderbilt if you're Mizzou.
So you beat Auburn and Vandy.
Yes.
Must
beat them both if you're talking 10-2, because you're going to have to clean up Mississippi State as well. And that's, again, less than a touchdown. Missouri's going to win that game by. I'm just telling you right now, Mississippi State is no pushover. They damn near knocked off Tennessee last week in overtime. So now we're talking about 3 remaining games. You got to win 2 of them. Hosting A&M, at Norman, at Arkansas. Got to win the Arkansas one. They fired their coach. I'm not saying you'll automatically get it and roll out of bed and get it, but if we're talking 10-2, that's one you got to get. You got to get one of A&M and Oklahoma. I don't really care which one you get. I'd rather get Oklahoma, frankly, just because of the rivalry there. And honestly, I don't know which one's easier.
I'd say A&M because you're at home.
Yeah, you're probably right. A&M's still better than I thought. And I know that I'm staring the number 5 numeral next to Oklahoma's name right now. I still don't buy it. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying I haven't necessarily seen that they're number 5 in the country.
Yeah.
Like, if their name was Vanderbilt with their same resume, they would be ranked where Vanderbilt is ranked. That's just a fact. You beat Michigan at home. Well, first of all, Michigan would never go to Vanderbilt, so it wouldn't be they would never agree to that scheduling quirk. And then what else did you do? You beat Auburn at home by a single possession.
Yeah.
When you got a call that the SEC came out and said was wrong, you shouldn't have gotten a touchdown on that. You should have gotten a penalty. So all I'm saying is Oklahoma is number 5 because of their name, not their resume. But they're also number 5 because we really think Mateer is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. We really think they have a good defense. And I think those things are true as well. They're just getting the benefit of the doubt before truly cementing it with a win like Alabama just had over Georgia. And like Vanderbilt doesn't get that same benefit of the doubt despite dominating similar opponents more firmly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I would say you're right because A&M's at home. But, dude, they can move the ball with Marcel Reed. I was looking forward to playing Marcel Reed last year. I thought it gave Mizzou an advantage. And then they ended up bringing out Wegman, and, it didn't go well. This year, I think Marcel Reed is taking a step forward, so that's not going to be an easy game. But that's your answer to your question. Auburn, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, you got to win one of A&M, Oklahoma.
I agree with that.
That's the path.
Yep.
Or just beat Bama. Beat Bama, and then it's like, you know what? If you do slip up at Vanderbilt, that would be the best part. Is like if you slip up at Vanderbilt, that gives Vanderbilt the way to make the playoff as well. So you can look at it and say your 2 losses are to, Vanderbilt and if it's Oklahoma, or Vanderbilt and A&M. Your 2 losses would be to playoff teams, and you'd be 10-2. That's a playoff team as well.
How high does Mizzou go if they beat Bama?
Oh, if they beat Bama, I have to look at the AP poll. That's a great question.
I believe the college football playoff comes out right around then as well.
I think it's a little bit later.
Is it a little bit later?
I hope you're right. November 5th was when they did it last year.
Oh,
so
then yes. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I don't know when they're doing it this year, but that just to kind of give you was on a Tuesday. So whatever that Tuesday is. So there'll be probably the Vanderbilt game before the CFP.
Gotcha.
Which kind of sucks because I think it'd be best to your point. Like, wouldn't that be great if it came right after the Bama? Let's say Mizzou beats Alabama. How high do they climb? They climb past Florida State because Florida State has a loss and they beat Bama, but they have a loss. We assume Vanderbilt loses to Bama. The spread says they will. I think SEC-wise, Mizzou passes Tennessee because Tennessee's taken a loss. They had their big game at home against a similar team, and they lost to Georgia. Mizzou should probably leap every SEC team with a loss.
I think they go to
in the top 10.
10 with the win.
What about Texas? Texas will have played Red River by then?
The same day.
So if they beat Oklahoma, Mizzou will not hop Texas, and that will chap my khakis. But Texas will be a 1-loss team with a slight loss to Ohio State, the best team in the country, and a win over a previously top 5 Oklahoma. So Mizzou, I think 10, pending any other things that happen, right? Like, does A&M drop one? Oklahoma's going to have lost Red River. Mizzou probably passes Oklahoma in that instance. Does anybody else take a loss? But yeah, they would be a top 10 team no matter what happens if Mizzou beats Alabama. Yeah, at that point.
I think so too. And I think they have to be. And then at that point, you got a little leeway. You're 6-0. You got to go 4-2 in the final stretch then. Yeah. And you're in. It's as simple as that. That's the path to Missouri's first ever college football playoff berth. We're going to come back and try to win you some money On the other side of the break, we're going to give our best bets, picking every SEC game, and we're going to add our favorite picks for the college football and really football slate in there as well. I'm Grant Salzman. He's Brendan Schaefer. This is Miz-Stl on the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com.
In your city with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of the city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life. In your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
Hey, Kat, summer's winding down, but I keep thinking, my backyard is weak, man. I need a pool and maybe even a fire pit.
Cam, you know who can handle that? Merrimack Pools and Outdoors. They're a family-owned St. Louis company, been doing this for 25 years.
They do more than just pools, right?
Oh, yeah. Patios, outdoor kitchens, sport courts, fire features, the whole outdoor package. They'll design it, build it, and make it look amazing.
That sounds like trouble for my neighbors when I start hosting barbecues with the boys.
Exactly. And here's the best part. Free consultations, smart pool features like LED lighting and spa integration, financing options, and they back it all with a lifetime manufacturer warranty.
That's legit, and you know I like local. They're licensed, insured, bonded, and based right here in St. Louis.
If you want the ultimate backyard, head to SplashSTL.com.
Hit up SplashSTL.com for more information and receive a free salt cell included in your package. A $2,000 value. SplashSTL.com.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. 222-2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news. St. Louis County health officials are issuing a public health alert over the increased cancer risk from Coldwater Creek. The Department of Public Health warning anyone who has lived, worked, or spent time in North St. Louis County zip codes is at greater risk of developing lung, kidney, colon, and breast cancers due to radiation exposure. Murder charges against a man for the deadly shooting of a high school student 6 years ago are now dropped. Officials said a grand jury chose not to indict Marquise Quinn for the killing of his 16-year-old girlfriend, Christina Curry. Curry was found shot to death outside Roosevelt High School in May 2019. And a St. Louis County school is increasing safety measures after a student reportedly brought a loaded gun and a knife to the campus. Officials said the student placed the weapons in a small tote inside their clear book bag at Halls Ferry Intermediate School on Wednesday. The Lou Information Station is streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Jared Sorello.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. Warm and sunny through the weekend. High pressure is still in the southern plains and covering our area. Afternoon high today in the upper 80s. Overnight, mid-60s and clear, and then we're expecting upper 80s on Saturday and more sunshine. Sunday and Monday, upper 80s both days sunny. We may start seeing some showers coming back on Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. That's 800-298-0306.
When you're building something new, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Big Toe Media founder Dave Green, and with our company, we didn't want just another bank. We wanted people who understood what we were trying to create and who were there for us every step of the way. That's why we chose Home Bank. From business lending to everyday banking, Home Bank has been much more than a bank. They're the kind of people who answer the phone, know your name, and believe in your vision. And the trust goes both ways. Home Bank doesn't just support our growth, they share in it. They take pride in helping local businesses succeed because they know when we win, the whole community wins. Business isn't just about numbers. It's about relationships. And with Home Bank, those relationships make all the difference. Home Bank is the team behind our team. Visit myhomebank.bank or call 855-577-2001. Home Bank, member FDIC, more than a bank. They're your business partner.
And we're back on the Loot Information Station. Brendan Schaefer, we are going to try to win a little bit of money.
A little bit. Speak for yourself, brother.
A lot of money.
I'm coming for it all.
Now, I was thinking, normally we do 5 just of your bonus favorite picks, but we only have 5 SEC games to choose from. So
sure,
maybe
we could do a couple extra.
we throw in, we'll call it 3 more, and we go 12 picks total. What do you think about that?
So 5 plus 8 would then be 13.
Or I thought it was 4. Is it 5 or is it 4?
5 games
it is
involving the Southeast.
Actually, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 6. No, it is 5. I can't count.
3, 4,
It's 5.
5. You're having a hard day, brother.
We'll go 13. That way you
Okay.
go. We'll add the 3 anyway.
We'll do 8 picks plus the 5 SEC picks. Coming into the week, you are down 13. Down 10 units on the season. I'm up 13 units on the season.
It's fine.
You got some ground to make up.
Go undefeated
the more
this week.
picks, I mean, if you go undefeated and I lose them all,
I'm back.
you're back.
All right, let's start with Georgia versus Kentucky. The Wildcats travel down to Athens. Georgia is a 20.5-point favorite, and I'll be taking the Bulldogs in this game. Think they're a little angry, bounce back game, and I just don't think Kentucky's very good.
Kentucky's not very good. And it tells us that Georgia should be able to do this. Has Georgia, trying to see, have they really blown people out like that, though? They haven't played a team on Kentucky's level that they've blown out.
Okay.
They beat Austin P by 22. Ugh. They beat Marshall by 38. But I think Kentucky's better than both those teams. The number's better. If it was above 21, I wouldn't want it. It's at Georgia. Do you want me to give you a chance? Do you want me to take Kentucky?
Sure. Take Kentucky.
To try to get you back in the game here?
That's not what we should be doing.
Give me the Cats. No, I think, look, man, it's one of those where we're going to know in the first quarter. If it's 14-0 after the first quarter, it's like, here they come. If it's 3-3, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Those type of games where you got to cover a number that big against a conference opponent, if you come out flat, it can be difficult to bounce back. I do think Georgia's the right side. I will take Kentucky for the memes. That's really where I'm at right now.
I have a feeling this might be a meme pick from you as well. Vandy to Alabama, college game day, the highest ranked matchup of the week. Vandy is getting 10.5 points. I will fade you, and I will take Alabama minus 10.5.
We'll have to see if you'll let me, as a bonus pick, do the money line for additional units. I might be willing to do that.
You want to announce your official pick?
I'm gonna take Vanderbilt plus 10.5. You already knew I was taking Vandy, so
they're
I
built
think
for
everybody
this.
knew it. I'm not gonna, other than the Mizzou game, I will probably have American dollars on Vanderbilt every game this year.
Really?
Because I think they are going to be undervalued every single game. They might not win every game. Plus 10.5. Yes, I will take Vandy.
Okay, up next, Texas travels to the Swamp. Florida.
This number is booking
4
in the wrong direction.
a half
the Longhorn
point underdog. The Gators
this
were
was 6.5.
when we started the show. It was 5.
What is going on? I want to bet the Florida money line. Florida's going to win this game. So yeah, give me the Gators on the spread for sure. Half is not as good of a number, but they're going to win this game.
No, I'll take Texas minus 4.5. Arch is going to play better. Florida stinks.
That may be, but what if Texas also stinks at offense?
Well, that's very true.
Take the under probably. What's the total in this game?
It's going to be
42.5.
16-10 Texas.
I don't know what the score is going to be, but I'm on the Florida side with this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're fading each other someone's going to have a really good week and someone's going to have a really bad week as we enter our last 2 SEC picks. Kent State at Oklahoma, by far the most enthralling game involving a SEC team. Oklahoma is a 45.5 point favorite, and that's just not enough points. This Kent State team's really, really bad. Give me the Sooners minus 45.5.
No John Mateer though, right? He's gonna miss this game.
Don't care.
Confirmed. What if Hawkins looks really good? I wonder what that'll do to things.
Probably nothing.
I don't know, dude. I don't want anything to do with this game. I would never bet this game. Kent State is pretty bad though, aren't they?
Really bad.
Oh,
they barely beat Merrimack
Florida
earlier in the year.
State by 56. They lost to Texas Tech by 48. Yeah, give me the Sooners. I don't like it though.
Okay, I like that. Last game, Mississippi. This is sneaky here. Mississippi State, a 15.5 point favorite against, or underdog, pardon me, at Texas A&M. Start with you here, Brendan.
I'm gonna take the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
This is like the first road test really for them, and they looked pretty good at home, but that's a big number, man. I don't think Mississippi State is bad. Like I don't think they're a bad team at all. And Texas A&M has kind of played with its food sometimes. They've given up points on defense to teams that aren't very good at times. I know they've had impressive wins recently, but yeah, I'll go Bulldogs there.
I think so too. That's what I'm going as well. I like the Bulldogs here. I think that they've really turned things around. I don't know if they win. It might be a backdoor cover situation, but I think they're good enough to cover this 15.5 here, Brendan. Now,
yeah, I don't know if I would predict a win, but that might. Last week I said I don't really know if I have a favorite of the week, but I've nailed my picks this year when I've been confident in an SEC team on the spread. In Mississippi State and Ole Miss, I liked them both enough to double down, and I got them both right.
Yeah. This is a sneaky good game.
It's that or Florida for me this week. Well, honestly, it's probably Vanderbilt on the spread, keeping it within 10. I don't know. I like all three of those a decent amount, though.
All right, let's start with our bonus picks. I'll start us off, and I'll go with the game tonight. This is dirty. This is bad. But I was looking. Western Kentucky's QB is pretty good. Delaware's basically an FCS team, and Delaware's a 3-point favorite. I know they're at home. Give me Western Kentucky +3 tonight at 6 p.m. I don't even know if there's a way to watch this football game.
There's always a way.
But I'll take Western Kentucky +3.
I will take Delaware. You won't believe me when I tell you this. I changed T-shirts into this column shirt. The shirt I was wearing before, Delaware Blue Hens.
Why do you have a Blue Hens shirt?
I got it at like a thrift store one time, and I thought it was cool. And I've actually won American currency on the Blue Hens this year in their game against UConn, I believe it was. And I don't think they're FCS anymore. I think they're not.
I'm saying they're practically.
Yeah. I'll take Delaware. I'm just going to straight fade you because the Blue Hens are where it's at. I might leave the room and go get that shirt so I can show it to the camera before the show's over.
Okay. I'll go next pick. I'll go Cincinnati hosting Iowa State. I'll go Cincinnati on the money line, -120.
All right, I'll let you get away with that.
Thank you.
Anything 120 and below, I'll be generous and let you do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to upset Iowa State at home.
Well, it's not an upset. If you're -120.
It is on the ranking scale.
that doesn't matter. It's always about the spread, my friend.
That's true, but they'll rush the field.
What's the matchup?
Cincinnati against Iowa State.
I don't think anybody's rushing the field.
Iowa State's ranked 14th in the country. Cincinnati's unranked. Hasn't been good for a few years. They'll rush the field.
And you're taking Cincinnati?
I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Why? At Cincinnati?
I think they're going to win the football game.
I think you're really stretching the bounds of what's legal. I should make you. I see 122.
Fine, give me -1.5.
If it's a -112 spread, because I'm literally just going to straight fade you again because I don't.
Good Lord.
I'm the one thing that scares me is Cincinnati really moved the ball well against KU last week and beat them, but I don't think KU's defense. I think I was a little too high on KU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fine. You're making me pick teams I don't even like, but I'm just basically trusting that you've had a bad season. And so if I fade your picks, I should end up being just fine.
I'm going to go.
Give me another one. What do you like?
I'm going to go. You're not going to fade me on this one. I'm going to go to our favorite game of the day, and I'm going to take the over in Vanderbilt, Alabama, of 55.5 points. Think that Vandy will move the football. Think Alabama will as well.
I like that. I want to take Vanderbilt for 3 units on the money line. Will you let me do that? It's plus 330, so I'm not getting a good price. Okay. So I'm only risking 1 unit, but I will take Vandy money line, and I'll win 3 units if I'm right. I don't know if I believe it, but I've talked enough about Vandy this year that I should be willing to predict it. And I'm rooting for Bama to win this game close because I want Bama to be ranked as highly as possible coming into Columbia. But I think Vanderbilt can win.
I'll stick with my over bets. I'll go Boise State, Notre Dame. Over 62.5 points. Notre Dame can score. Their defense is good. Neither is Boise State's.
Interesting.
That's my logic.
I'm not so sure about the Boise State offense being able to move the ball a bunch, but I do think that that Notre Dame. I mean, last week they covered the Arkansas over by themselves, basically.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
You that was one of your picks that you got right. So I think I can get on board with that. Give me the under. I mentioned it earlier, but give me the under in Florida and Texas. 42.5. It's a low number.
Like that.
But I think that is kind of appropriate for the 2 offenses that we're talking about. And the 2 defenses are pretty good too.
Okay, so we're halfway through our favorite picks then. We're going to do 8 of them this week. Give me TCU, Colorado. Give me TCU -13.5 points. It's a really good offense with Hoover there. I think they'll be able to move the ball. Colorado is just a mess right now offensively, so I'll take TCU.
You went over on TCU Arizona State last week and fell a little bit short.
That was tough because it was like
one of your misses.
There was like 35 points at halftime, maybe, and there was only about 2 or 3 touchdowns then in the second half, and just missed the over.
Yep. I'm gonna go a little bit off script here to the National Football League.
Ooh.
And I will take, I'm deciding between a couple of them that I kind of like. I'm going to say Broncos fake, Eagles not fake. Eagles -3.5.
Okay. It's at Denver too, correct?
No.
Oh, I like that even more then.
Yeah.
I
probably pick them on the road.
Will stay in college football, which maybe isn't a good thing with how bad I've been this year at it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay in college football. I'm going to go the Baylor Bears. If I can find it again, they're -6 against. Hold up. Baylor Bears -6 against Kansas State.
That's probably right. Kansas State stinks.
I agree with that.
Okay. I was wondering.
I had no thoughts. I was waiting for your pick. I agree.
No.
They're bad. Kansas State is bad.
I'm taking Baylor. Sometimes you describe why.
No. Just you summed it up pretty bad. Kansas State stinks, and Baylor's got a really good QB in Sawyer Robinson.
I'm taking Illinois against Purdue. It's on the road. But,
yeah.
I guess that's me fading Barry Odom, head coach at Purdue now. I think, is that correct?
Oh, Brendan, the narratives. If Purdue would beat Illinois.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be praying for you to lose that bet.
Purdue lost by 26 to Notre Dame. Purdue hosted USC and lost by 16. Obviously, Illinois beat USC. So, and that was, Illinois should be able to roll in this game if they're still wanting to pretend to be a playoff team.
They're fake. I'm going to get ugly with this next one. as well. It's a 3:25 game on Sunday. This team is struggling mightily, but they're at home. I think they're going to figure a few things out. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 10.5 against the Detroit Lions.
I was considering that one, but I'll go. I'm going to do something gross here. Jets plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Posting the Cowboys
Against America's team?
Yeah, Cowboys probably can win close maybe, but and I have the number. I wish it was plus 3, but I mean the Jets could definitely win that game. They can move the ball on the Cowboys. Anybody can.
I'm gonna go ugly for my last pick. Really, just disgusting, especially since this quarterback for this team wears like 46. Do you know where I'm heading? What team
Iowa?
No? It's going to be BYU versus West Virginia over 46.5 points tonight at 9:30.
And get your wins early in the weekend.
I got 2 going tonight.
All right. I was thinking about some other stuff, and I don't really know that I have a lot of confidence in it. What was I going to? I at least want to allude to what I was considering, but now it's totally gone from my screen. I've done well by just kind of like leaning into my SEC takes. Let me really back Mississippi State when nobody will. I'll double down on Mississippi State. I consider doubling down on Florida, but Mississippi State gives me more margin. I've already kind of got a script on the Florida game. I could parlay it basically because I think Florida does well if that game goes under.
Mm-hmm.
But Mississippi State, show me something. Like I'm a little bit fearful that this could go the other direction on me. But I want Mississippi State to be a solid team, and I think they can be respectable here.
Okay, Brennan, we're shutting it down. Those were our best picks. As I close it out, do you have time to go and run and get that nice Delaware shirt, or is it too far away?
Talk for 30 seconds, and I'll go grab it.
Okay, go grab it. He's Brennan Schaefer. So we just picked our 8 favorite SEC, or 8 favorite picks, and our 5 SEC picks. I'm 10 units down. Brennan's 13 units up. And the big thing today is I have Western Kentucky plus 3. Brennan Schaefer has Delaware minus 3. It's not a blue shirt, really? Oh, that's still pretty cool. Go Blue Hens. Joe Flacco and Joe Biden, I believe, are the most famous alum of Delaware.
Yeah, Joe Flacco was a blue hen.
Wasn't Joe Biden as well? Or is he just from Delaware?
Care. He's not a sports player.
Okay, well, I'm just naming famous alum.
Joe Biden, should I know that name from something?
You might have heard of him. He was a senator back in the day.
Like politics?
Yeah.
I don't really follow it.
Oh, okay. This was MIZSTL. A Spirit win? Who knows? Maybe we'll get one tomorrow. I don't know. Stay tuned. He's Brennan Schaefer. I'm Grant Salzman. This is the Lou Info. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Stay tuned for Charlie Tune and the Posse coming up right after this quick break.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life